that we cringe on education, so we choose to be dumb. But I read about the times we was longer for one. Relic in the corner, couldn't eat with the dog. Evolution, the revolution, make us sleep with the fog.
Hey, YouTubers. How y'all doing out there? How's all of our Glow podcast viewers? Ladies, how are you guys doing today?
We're blessed. Wonderful, wonderful.
Absolutely fantastic. I know you guys are like, wait a minute, somebody is missing. Is somebody missing? Somebody not missing. No, Janae's hair did not fall out. She is currently tied up with another important priority, but she will probably be joining us. This show is going to be so phenomenal. We didn't even want to put it on hold. Our sis especially wanted to make sure that we got all of this information out. We have a wonderful, wonderful guest today, Mr. Jessie Hunter, who is the founder of goodtenants.com. Let me, y'all remember that? Y'all remember those commercials back in the day, the hair club for men? And at the end they would say, I'm not only a spokesperson or something like that, but I'm a client. Okay, so that's kind of how I feel about goodtenants.com. I can't go into all the detail because we only got an hour with you guys, but I want to make sure that you understand that all of this information that this gentleman is getting ready to pour into you, please grab your pen and paper. Please be recording. And of course, you can always go back and look at the show as well. But I want you, there you go, lead by example. So I want to be sure that you all know that this is not just a wonderful person, the real estate industry and the financial industry who was introduced to us. I actually have known Mr. Hunter, oh my goodness, I would say at least 10 years. Yeah, probably a good 10 years, if not more. But I'm also a client of his. I followed everything that he is getting ready to share with you all. Leah says it all the time. Mama Maria says it all the time. We've even had some of our guests say it. We have so much knowledge to share, but everybody wants, to keep it to themselves. And I'm so happy that we are providing a platform where this information, where people would actually sign up and pay this man for what he's about to share with y'all. He's about to give it to y'all for free. Free, y'all. And when I tell you once again, listen to what Mr. Hunter is saying. Listen to what I call him, Mr. J. Listen to what he is saying. I am a homeowner because I followed his steps. I was able to live in the best of the best neighborhoods in Southern California because I followed his steps. So I'm going to go ahead and bring him on and let him just take off with it. And I'm sure there's more stuff that I need to learn because our industry in real estate and housing and renting and purchasing is always evolving. So y'all get ready. Mr. Hunter.
Hello, hello, hello. Godly ladies overcoming.
Yes. Oh, yes. Exactly. Godly, glorious, glamorous, gracious, gifted, giving. I mean, you name it, fill in. We are so happy to have you join us. I know that you wear many hats. And much like Leah, just to be able to step away from is taken away from something else. So we are so grateful, and none of us take that for granted. So we are going to go ahead and let you just kick us off. Tell us who you are outside of what I already said, and that's our not just our community, but anybody who is trying to purchase, trying to rent, preparing to do either one, two. What do we need to do?
Okay. Well, first, actually, it's perfect timing. Looks like we got a.
I'm sorry, Mr. J.
It's okay.
Lady of Inspiration is, Lady of Inspiration. I told y'all she was coming. Hi,
yeah,
sis.
Sorry.
Perfect.
Hi.
Hey. How you doing?
Perfect timing. We just reduced Mr. Hunter.
You are too.
Yes.
All right. Well, just give you a little bit of background on myself. First, I would say the timing is perfect because we're actually, like you mentioned, I've been talking about and working on Good Tenant Services, which we're now rebranding as goodtenants.com. And for actually, one of my friends I was talking to today, he was one of my old clients too. He told me he remembers 11 years we've been working on this. Okay. So just a little bit of my background. I'm my degree, I guess, is in engineering, aeronautical engineering. My background in MBA from Pepperdine, and I actually stumbled into real estate back in 9/11. I was working for an aviation company, and I actually left the company because I was going to start my own business, but it was going to be in aviation. But when 9/11 happened, a lot of the aviation industry went down.
Mm-hmm.
So I started doing some consulting, and I was working with a client of mine who was in the mortgage business. And he says, you should get your mortgage real estate license, and I'll pre-qualify the people for the others. And he actually had an office already ready. He walked over there. I'm like, well, okay, fine. So I went ahead and got my real estate license and broker's license. And I started helping primarily buyers. I was what you call a buyer's agent. He would pre-qualify them with those subprime mortgages. And then he walk over, and this is back in the time when every time you try to get an offer on a house, there was multiple offers, there was a lot of bidding, the market was really accelerating and going up. And so, but you know, it was really a good experience. I found I liked working with people. Every transaction was a different project. And so I was just enjoying myself. And then all of a sudden we had that mortgage crisis for all of those subprime mortgages. I always tell people we didn't have a real estate crisis, we had a mortgage crisis because all of a sudden those loans that we were doing, what they turned out to be kind of fake loans. They were making a lot of money and putting people in houses, and then the interest rates were going up, or they had them in those balloon notes. Then all of a sudden that industry fell apart. So I could have gone back into the aviation industry, but I decided, well, I'll just stick it out because I figured if I lasted out through this time, then all the other people that I call fake realtors, they would all go back to doing what they were doing.
Hmm.
And so I started helping people with short sales. Now, short sale is an example. A house has $600,000 in mortgages, and now it's worth $300,000. So that means it's worth less than what the mortgages are on it. So that foreclosure crisis we went through back in the 2000 to 2010, I would actually go and find people and help them sell their home. But what happens is when you have a short sale, you probably have bad credit because you're not paying your mortgage payment. A lot of people lost their jobs. We're going through an economic crisis. And so what I would do is I would say, well, I'll help you guys find a house, find a rental, because I'm not just going to sell your house, say thank you very much. And that's actually where good tenants came from. The name good tenants came from the fact that most of these people are homeowners. And the only reason they're moving is not that they're bad people. They just have bad loans. Their credit is bad. So I started packaging them in such a way that I would make it look professional. That's where what you hear me talk about, the good tenant application package came from. And it was packaged by trying to give everything that a landlord needed, but also to provide people and present them in such a way that they weren't just an application and a bad credit report.
Mm-hmm.
And so we went through that process and helped people rent homes. And I found that the application package, a lot of realtors really liked them and landlords because they were thorough. And because, you know, when you rent a person a house, I always tell people, especially in today's market, so you rent a house and it's $4,000 a month. Times 12 is $48,000 a year. And I said, people say, well, why do they need so much information? Well, I'm getting ready to put you in my house with a 1-year contract for almost $50,000. I need to make sure you're a good tenant. I need to make sure you're going to take care of that property. You're going to pay your rent on time. And the only way we can do that is we have to look at your history. So we have to get your pay stubs. We have to get your bank statements because people were moving into houses and then they didn't have enough money to pay the next month's rents. Okay.
Oh, wow.
They were doing that in the foreclosure crisis. They call it a first payment default because it took everything to get in the house. All of a sudden the market's going down and people weren't able to pay. And the same thing happened with the rentals. So say you get in a house, I have to verify that you make enough money on a regular consistent basis to be able to pay the rent because evictions are expensive. You know, you're not receiving any income on your property. You got to wait and pay court costs and go through the process. And then most tenants that get evicted, they end up leaving the place in a trashed out condition.
Yeah.
So you can't, I always tell people when I work with a tenant, I say, put on your landlord hat. Okay, everybody thinks like the tenant and everything is this, but the landlord is paid good money for the house, prep the house, because you're not going to move in it unless it's good, unless they got it all prepared for you. You don't want to just move into anything. And so there's a lot of risk involved. So that's where the good tenant application package came in. And then I started helping people like Nate, I call him Nate, uh, and to find homes. And then I remember the exact day because we've helped her find a home, and I've been talking about this all day. I will tell people I can talk about this all day, how much time we got. And so, but
Well,
I remember talking.
I'm sorry, Mr. Jesse. I want to jump in and ask a question because what you're saying is so important. But also, I just want to ask about the other side. You're doing this for the tenants. Are you also vetting the places that are looking for these tenants as far as because there's slumlords out there. I
Yep,
know for
yep,
firsthand, there are definitely
yep.
slumlords. And so does it goes both ways for the tenants? They know that they're going to get a good landlord, and then the landlord is going to know they're going to get good tenants as well.
Well, let me do this. I'll finish on Nate's story, and then I'll come back and I'll give you a real quick glimpse of the vision.
Okay.
Okay, that'll incorporate and answer that question for you. But the bottom line was when I was talking to her, we're standing outside for what, half hour, 45 minutes. I'm explaining to her, here's what you need to do. Because, most good tenants want to own a home. So, okay, here's the steps you need to do. I outlined it to her. She went to work, called me once in a while, asked questions, got herself pre-qualified. We got her approved for down payment closing assistance programs, and it took off. And so that's the essence of it. What I tell people with good tenants, we're trying to make it easier for good tenants to lease or buy the next home. So what happens though is you just mentioned it. You go out, you look for a house. Here's the way it's done nowadays. I mean, renting homes is back like the day when people used to look for jobs. You see an ad, you call up on the ad, you try to go see it. So you when you're looking for a home, the first thing you do is you go start looking at houses. You hope the landlord responds. You hope that when you finally get an appointment and you go look at the house, it's a nice house. And if to answer your question about a slum lord, if you move into a house and it looks like a slum, don't move in. All right. Our goal of good tenants is put you in a position where you have a choice, where you present the best person that you can be. But the real vision, kind of like one of the incentives, is what if you put your application package together, because it's a lot of information, and if you got a negative on there, you need to work on it, because nowadays as a realtor, they have what they call private remarks. Sometimes in the private remarks, they basically say if they don't have 60 FICO score, don't even bother. So you have to work on preparing yourself, making yourself the best qualified person. So say you do all of that, you're pre-screened and you're ready to look for a house, and there's hundreds of people like you in the. So as a landlord, I go to goodtenants.com and I get verified to make sure I'm a licensed real estate professional. I do own the property. I have the right to lease that property. And now they have access to a database of pre-screened good tenants. And they put in a house in Eastvale, California, $4,000 a month, has to have a minimum FICO score of 680, no pets. And boom, you pop up. They look at your summary profile and says, I like this person. It looks like they meet my requirements. And they invite you to come and see their property. You go back, take a look at it. It's just what you're looking for. You give them access code to your secure and password protected application package, because that's a lot of information. I mean, our package includes your application, your credit report, your verification of employment, pay stub, bank statements, ID. So it has to be a very secure document, which it is. So you give him access to it. He's been verified as a licensed realtor, and now that person invites you to go ahead and apply and get approved for their house. That's kind of what we're looking to do. We're going to get in there Now tenants, we call it get ready, stay ready. Don't wait till it's time to move to get ready, okay? It takes time. If you got any kind of negative at all, it's going to be a reason people deny you. Because rentals right now is very competitive. Even though rents are going up, the quality rentals at a good price in a good neighborhood, I tell my landlords when I lease it for them, I say, I can guarantee you all in less than days. Normally it takes 1 or 2 weeks. A properly priced house for condition and location will lease in 1 to 2 weeks. Why is that? Because people are out there having to move. They're out there getting 30 and 60-day notices because the owner is selling, the owner's moving their family back in there. The owner is, there's all these scenarios go on, you lose your job or whatever. So now you have to move. You don't want to wait till you have to move to get ready to move because you don't have enough time if there's any glitch, unless you already got six-figure income, 750 FICO score, plenty of money in the bank, and no pets. That person can move anytime. All they have to do is but you still got to put your information together. Everybody has to put together an application package. Everybody has to compile their documents. And what I was running into is I get people now and all they got is a phone. They don't get their pay stub anymore. They don't get their bank statement anymore in the mail. So now I'm trying to put everything together because the problem with the old way is you find a house, you like it, and you apply, and then you find out it's going to take you 3 days to get everything that they're asking you for. You go back, finally get it together, and the place is gone. Because rentals wait for no one.
Oh,
Okay,
yes, absolutely.
the most prepared and most qualified gets the rental, period. No matter where you are. Okay. So what you want to do, our whole concept is I call it the good tenant revolution. We're going to change the way people rent houses. Finally. It already happened in the job market. You can now go to monster.com, Indeed, LinkedIn, or whatever, and prep your application package. Employers can come and search out from your requirement and pull up qualified people and invite you to an interview for a job. So I'm not creating anything that's not already there. I'm just applying what should have been, what needs to be applied into this industry of real estate. And that's what goodtenants.com is designed to do. So how do you do that? How do you get it ready? So one of the things we do is we have a learning community. Just like Nate, you have to learn what you need to learn, and then your knowledge is power when it's applied. So we're going to give you here's what you need to do to make sure when you get ready to move, you can move and be approved. Here's what you need to do when you want to get ready to buy a house and qualify for down payment cost assistance. Act like the down payment and closing costs is a reason for not buying anymore. That's been in existence for a couple of decades now, but most people don't know about it. So we have a learning community. We're going to have our own weekly podcast. And what we're going to be doing to launch all this, because it's designed to be nationwide, is we're going to be talk a little bit about the contest. I call it the Money for Living contest. Now, the unique feature of this contest is, number one, it has a cash prize that increases every month. It's a contest that you enter once, and if you don't win, you just carry over to the next month. It's called an evergreen contest. As you share the contest with other people, you actually pick up points. And with those points, you're able to increase your chance of winning. We give away something free every month. We give away discounts and coupons as sweepstakes for the people that do the most sharing. And so we're launching, the first one is going to be this month. We're giving away $500 on Halloween. We're going to give away $750 on Thanksgiving, $1,000 on Christmas. We're going to give $1,200 on President's Day or Martin Luther King's Day, and $1,400 cash on Valentine's Day. So we already have those 5 laid out. You
That's
guys are probably going to be
That's amazing.
Yeah. And what happens is the system that we're still finalizing, I'll give you some details on it, but you'll go to join.goodtenants.com, you'll hit the button, and not only will you join the contest, but it'll also make you provide for you a free membership for goodtenants.com. So, and the first course that we're making is what I call the Get Ready, Stay Ready. The things that every good tenant should know and do now before it's too late. So that's actually a course, the first course. We're going to be offering that week by week. We're what I call drip releasing that course in October and November. But that's designed to try to get that mindset changed. So you can't wait until you have to move. You got to get ready and stay ready. And I'm probably older than I look, but I've gone through 3 economic crises in my lifetime, and we're due for another one. Okay, and that's one of the things we're also trying to make sure people prepare for that. Okay, I just talked to a friend before this thing started. Did you know that over 20,000 people, his Bank of America account showed 0?
Wow.
That's what's going on literally right now. Literally right now. Okay, so there's going to be ready for what do we do? You know, and I was explaining to somebody the other day. They were saying, "Well, what's the profile of your people?" You guys are the profile. Mamas who care about their kids, who don't want to be left out there hanging, want to get ahead of the game. All right, do not want to take a risk. If I could do something now to make me, if it's nothing more to make you feel more comfortable, more at ease, less anxious. Okay, that's what Get Ready, Stay Ready is about. And now, hey, you get a notice. Oh, got a notice. Let me go ahead and put my good tenant package together, because that stuff is aged. But you know how to download your pay stub. You know how to download your bank statement. It's not something you got to figure out how to do it. That's what we're teaching people in the back end. And so the contest is designed kind of to build a kind of a momentum.
Okay.
And one last thing, real quick, before you guys can ask questions, we're actually going to have a partnership program, Good Tenants partnership program, and it's designed to solve the one problem that nobody talks about. What's the real solution? Make more money. Make more money.
Amen to
you know
that.
that one of the things that I find with tenants is, why don't you have a home-based business? You can write off your taxes, write off the mileage on your car. And it's designed to actually help you make more money. It's not just one of these, oh, I got a business. And no, if you have a home-based business filing a Schedule C on your tax, you have to make a genuine effort on a consistent basis to actually make money. And if you do that, and you have things properly set up, which we're going to train people how to do, that's an immediate savings. And we provide the way to do that. We show you what most people don't even know. What's an affiliate program? Well, I'll show you what an affiliate program is. You just refer other people, and when they buy, you get a percentage of the money for it. Did you know Amazon, all these big companies have affiliate programs?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So we're going to have an affiliate program. Ours is a little bit different. I call it simple success. We keep it simple. I know you got a lot going on, a lot on your plate. So all you got to do is commit to a consistent set of activities to legitimize your business and to have to give yourself the ability to earn some income. I call it, you do the networking. We're not network marketing. You do the networking. We do the marketing. Hey, here's the email to send. Here's the link to send. Here's how you're already sharing and not making any money at it anyway.
Right.
What if you could share a contest, an evergreen contest? Because my goal is, imagine next Christmas we're going to weigh $5,000.
Nice.
And you're sharing that with people. Okay. And every time somebody buys an app pack, customized, we have different things. We have customized app packages, self-employed people, people on security. That's
nice.
not just a regular app. I mean, it takes time and effort to put it together. And you're out there looking at a house because you're doing it the old way. You find it, they ask you for all this information. You start getting frustrated. You send them whatever you got, and then you wonder why they ghost on you. Wonder why I thought they were like me. Well, they don't. It's not a like thing. It's business. So you have to be able to be prepared. You have to be able to have the documentation. You, like I said, act like you're the landlord trying to rent that $1 million house now. That's right. In Eastvale, you got houses the size of what you're living in. It's $1 million house. Okay, it's not a game to play. You got to come in and show them that. And the nice thing about ours is we have the branding on it. When we do the app pack, you get a 10 stamp.
Nice.
The other thing we're doing is we're actually launching I call it mygoodcredit.com, because one of the biggest reasons people don't get approved is somebody with better credit. Not that your credit was super bad, somebody with better credit came in and applied.
Mm-hmm.
So say you're doing good. Hey, I'm up to 680, and somebody with 735 is in at $10,000 more a month. And again, put on your landlord hat. Which one are you going to pick?
Makes sense.
If you're just looking at it quantitative, okay? So part of what we do, reason you have a good tenant profile with a picture of you and your family on it, is I don't want them to see me as a piece of paper. I want them to see me as a really good family and a good tenant who's going to come in and take care of their home.
Makes
Okay,
sense.
I did it back 10 years ago. That's how long we've been doing it. I've been doing it for over 10 years. I've never had a problem with it.
Yep.
But we keep that in the profile. So now it's like LinkedIn. You put it on there if you want, if you don't. Okay. But we're going to have our credit repair company. We actually don't do credit repair. It's called My Good Credit because it's your credit. It's your number one asset if you don't own a home. For most people that are renting, your credit score.
Mm.
Example, you apply and you got 620. You apply and you got 780. Stark difference. I mean, it's like going from here to here. When you have a bad credit score, it's an uphill climb. So you had to work on it. And the thing that takes the most amount of time to clear up is your credit. But it's not that hard when you know what you're doing and you're making more money. Because yes, that is your bill.
Mm-hmm.
You don't challenge them off anymore. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't challenge off because you write letters and things like that.
Oh,
Okay?
oh my goodness. Okay, let's pause right there, Mr. J, if you don't mind, because when you and I were connected through your daughter-in-law a decade ago, we were still in the write a letter for a charge off. I don't know if y'all remember that. You had something negative on your credit report or something you didn't agree with or dispute. Since I see you over there nodding, and you would write the letter to the creditor. They had so much time to prove to you that it really was yours. And if they didn't, they had to remove it. So so I mean, listen, I've been out the game for a minute. Not doing that anymore?
No, what I tell people is if it's not yours, you know what, the first lesson we learn in credit is what I call credibility.
Okay.
My yes is my yes, my no is my no. Okay, if it's my bill because I didn't pay it, I didn't open my mail and find out I had that deductible. If I follow up to make sure that car loan got paid off, you know, if it was actually mine, then let me reconcile it. But I can't call and say, and it's okay to challenge it to say it's not accurate.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, it was $1,000, not $1,750. Okay, so prove to me $750. I'm willing to pay the $1,000, but I'm not paying $1,750 on it because you sold it and they marked it up. Okay, so yeah, we still do that, but I talk to people. We start off with a detailed analysis of your credit report and what you need to do exactly to get your score up.
Yeah.
Okay, and we say, here's what it is. Here's all the templates. You can hire a virtual assistant if you want, kind of like what we did with you. Hey, here's a virtual assistant, but we're not responsible for repairing your credit. We got to get into the ownership business.
Okay.
Own your credit. It's my credit. That's why mycredit.com. My good credit. And once you get it was my good credit for life. Because once you get it up there, don't go there again. It's too hard to get it back. I mean, I could show you mine from 4 or 5 years ago. I was in the fives. I drank the Kool-Aid. All right. There's no reason, I'm an engineer, and why am I having these problems? Did you know that part of that is a psychological, I call it a poor person's mentality? It is. I had to do it. I mean, I grew up in the ghetto, Louisville, Kentucky. 8 kids, mom, all of us in 2-3 bedroom houses. So I had to get over that mentality because I had to tell myself this doesn't even make any sense. I know what to do. What's the hindrance? When you start seeing irrational behavior, even though you know better, you got to go deeper. You got to say what's really behind this. And because you have to overcome the ideal, kind of like I am a godly man. Yeah, I was a dog before, but not now. So you have to get over that. You have to move forward from that. Okay. So as you can see, there's a lot. The biggest challenge I've been having with goodtennis.com is keeping it simple enough. Because if I don't have 15, 20 minutes like I have right now, how do you get people to listen that long? That's really the challenge. How do I get to say, hey, we got a solution? Yeah, we're gonna do a LinkedIn like that, but how do you build that thing?
Right.
How do you got to give it to every good tenant, and then you have to educate every good tenant, and then you got to walk them through the process and get them prepared. And it's going to be, it's going to filter down. Everybody is not going to do what they need to do, but at least now they won't have an excuse. You can send a good tenant to goodtenants.com and have them join for free and have them start taking the courses. And either they do it or they don't. You can take a horse to water, you can't make them drink. Okay. So that's kind of the approach of what we're doing. But the main thing, revolutionizing in 2 to 5 years, that's the way houses are going to be rented in America. This is Zillow.com level. Okay, apartments.com, realtor.com. That's what you're going to see with goodtenants.com. It's that kind of nationwide level thing and that's why I changed it to goodtenants.com. We're changing the branding. When you think about some tenant thinks about renting, it says goodtenants.com, start here.
But reversed. So much
but reversed.
Just like
but we'll still have listings there because what happened is landlords will start coming to us and they search and not see anybody there, and we're going to let them put their rental on goodtenants.com as a featured rental first
that's nice.
by the members of goodtenants.com. You have to be a member to even see them. Okay, the public won't even be able to get in unless they're a member. So you're going to have some exclusive listings. Okay, yeah, and then what we're telling the landlords is we're going to go out and have realtors and say, hey, here's the landlord wants to rent it. Already got the listing, and go here, give an open house, have them sign up here. Because what happens is I just did rentals about 2 weeks ago, and every application I get, I got to turn down 3 good people at least.
Wow.
That actually went through the process and filled out their application. So every listing that occurs, we're actually going to go to realtors and say, we'll handle this for you. Just send them to goodtenants.com. We'll do it for you. And everybody that's a turn down now is automatically a featured tenant on goodtenants.com with a pre-screened application package and looking to move right now. I already know that. So now we're going to start filling up the pipeline with people that are pre-screened looking to apply, that already went through the process through goodtenants.com. So you see, it's a lot. I know it's a lot.
But very necessary.
Very necessary.
It's a lot in the beginning, but being a client of yours, you have revolutionized the time consumption. Back then, we had to do everything. It was email me this, meet me at this time, hand me this document. It was like literally ABC 1, 2, 3, paper, print. So for you to now take all of that and house it in an electronic format where people can just go in, like you said, employers go on LinkedIn, Indeed, they look for their perfect employee, right?
Right.
Now the homeowners are going to be able to look for their perfect tenant who has taken the time to put together what it sounds to me is a real estate resume, so to speak, a rental resume, a housing. So it may be time consuming to actually get going, but just to know that everything is housed right there and you can just click a button and go. I think that it's brilliant. What are some of the things that you see in this industry that renters or people who waited until they needed to rent, what are some of the things that you see are common mistakes that we should stop doing?
Well, the first one is knowing you have to move, deciding you have to move, and starting and looking for the house first. Number one, absolute number one. And there's a reason for that. One, there is no what do you call it? There's no central place to go and say, here's my application package. There are tenant screening companies, but there's no place to say, here's all of my stuff for a tenant to go and do ahead of time. You know, you need to know you got to have all of this stuff, which is what we tell people, you know, and how to get it. But what happens is that normally takes days, and I can tell you, if I get on a Saturday, some follow-ups on a Sunday, I'm looking at apps on a Monday, probably making a decision Monday on Tuesday or Wednesday. You're not going to have 2 or 3 days to figure out how to download your. I get people, they don't know how to download their pay stubs. They never sign up for their online portal with their employer. They don't know how to download and print out their verification of rent directly from their online payment portal from their apartment place. Okay, they're just I call it dumbing down America. We know what we have to know, we do what we have to do, and not a whole lot else. And that's leaving us hanging. So you get your notice, and your first thing you do is go find a house, and you're just not ready. So that's number one. That's where get ready, stay ready came from.
Okay.
So get ready first. I mean, I can tell you the 2 ladies that I rented, I had 2 1-bedroom places in Pomona. And the 2 ones I rented it to were, one called me, when she called me for the appointment, she says, what do I need to bring you? Number one. Okay. The other one was sitting there before the open house. Before I got there, the owner actually called me and said, hey, somebody here sitting here. I'm like, I'm not due to be there for half an hour. She was already there. Okay. She already had her stuff ready. When I used to tell people, I screen tenants from the beginning, from the first conversation. Do they keep their appointment? Okay, did they show up on time? Did they say they're going to do something and actually do it? And so imagine you're somebody, and most realtors and property managers have that mentality, and you say, okay, I'll be there at 9, and you're there at 8:55. Okay, you tell them you're going to email them that package within the hour, and you get it within the hour. And it's everything that they need. The challenge with rentals for realtors and property managers, but especially for realtors, is we want to do it and get it done and move on to the next thing. Okay. Because we don't make a lot of money on that. You know, most realtors make their money selling houses. And again, one thing I never pointed out is we're really targeted for people looking to rent homes, not apartments, and houses that are individually owned by real estate investors. Yeah. Okay. Because apartments, you know, you got 200 apartments or 200 families. They have their own processes. You know, you can walk in the office, sit down at a screen, fill out the form, drop off paperwork there. That's not the same as an investor who only has $1 million house. He's renting for $4,000 a month, and he lives off the $4,000. Okay. Or she. I mean, most of my clients are actually female widows that the husbands got their house, they live at, or they moved in with the parent with one of their kids, and they're renting their house out because they don't want to sell it right now. Okay. So and those are the ones that are most likely to give you a 60-day notice because the situation changed, mama passes away, mama's in a home. I've done it where I had to sell it because they needed the money to pay for the nursing home. Yeah, the nursing home, the special care memory center home thingy. And as long as you have assets, the government's not going to pay for it. They actually literally have to sell it, pay off, and use all their assets before the government to step in and help them out. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we're going through that dynamic right now. There's a lot of what I call churn going on in the society right now that tenants need to be, especially if you're renting a house or a condo and that type of thing. Okay. You really need to be aware of that. You need to get ready and stay ready. So you're prepped. You know, I always tell people, act like you do have to move in 30 days, but you don't.
Nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of like my pre-launch. I'm pre-launching. We're really having an official launch in January. So I don't act like I had to launch in February. I mean, act like I need to launch this month. I got 3 months. I'm going to get ready, stay ready for the launch in January.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So as far as your stay ready, get ready portion, Is that like do you give your clients like a checklist to
Yeah,
get
Good
prepared?
question.
yeah,
Yes.
that's a good
Okay.
question. Yeah, what happens is we're in the course, we're going to outline it, and then there will be a checklist that pay stubs. And number one, to be credit,
Hmm.
because the better your credit, I mean, like I said, I had a house in Fullerton, and it was a doctor, and his fiance was a nurse. He was making a couple $100,000. And I'm thinking, okay, they're fine. But the nurse was only, her FICO score was 580.
Hmm.
My landlord, who
Oh,
had never had me redo again, said, well, can you keep looking? And
Wow.
because, yeah, that's what I'm saying. And he's one of my oldest clients. That's the first time he ever did it, because landlords, they read their own little journals and newsletters and stuff like that. They have what I call credit score phobia, and it's
so
real.
even with the
Wow.
doctor, they were going in as a joint partnership, and even with the
Yeah,
doctor making that
yeah.
kind of money, he still said, "Okay, look for someone else." Wow.
Yeah, he did, and actually he was right. I always tell my clients, I don't agree, but I work for you. And so
Okay.
we actually found a better family. Two
Wow.
incomes. Lady, her mom was working at Disney. Both of them had 700 and some odd FICO score. They had plenty of reserve plus 401k, and just fewer people in the house. So it actually turned out they worked, and they're looking to be there long term. Whereas his concern about the doctor is, well, fine, he's making good money. He might move in a year.
Well, I have a
Hmm.
question. So
Wow.
for those folks that, they have you have two and they have phenomenal credit and they have great jobs, what is the major reason why they don't want to just buy a home for themselves instead of renting?
Oh, I
Why do
like
you think
that.
a lot of people want to
Yeah,
rent instead of buy?
yeah. Different reasons.
Different reasons.
Okay. One, are they married yet? Number two, they're married, but one of them has a job. They may have to relocate.
Oh, okay.
They're not quite sure the neighborhood yet. Maybe they just came into the neighborhood, and the
Okay.
neighborhood they want to be in requires them to make even more money.
Okay.
Because, like I said,
Hmm.
$1 million house ain't all that nowadays.
Trust
Yeah,
me.
yeah, it's not. It's not. So the people that have that kind of level, they may be they're okay with where they are for a minute,
Hmm.
but eventually they will buy. I mean, they're the kind of. I have some clients that I have to move them to. I actually a lady. Her and her husband was living in an assisted living place. The husband passed away. They were paying $4,000 a month at the assisted living place, and she had all this money. And I'm like, girl, you need to buy a house. So we actually went to rent a house. They turned her down, and I said, see, that's a sign. We found her a house. She's been in it for over 8 years. She bought it for less than 400,000. It's probably worth 800, 850 right now in Corona right now. Okay. So sometimes I actually have to tell people you qualify, because they may not think they qualify for it.
Hmm.
They may not think they have the down payment or things like that. So part of the project that I do, like I said, with you, Nation, I just
Hmm.
educate people as I go.
Yeah.
And this is a way that all new members will, you it just gave me an idea. We'll probably have an introductory class for new members that say, it's designed to be interactive, because my goal is to say, where are you right now? I'm married. Okay. Do both of you guys work? So you go here. And it's designed to take you down a custom path.
Okay.
Yeah, because my real estate company, we're actually rebranding it. It's called Clear Path Real Estate Services. And my goal is everybody in America has a real estate plan.
Nice.
So imagine with me, you're a realtor. You help facilitate plans for all your clients, no matter where they are. I'm just having to start it with tenants. What'd you say?
No, no, I'm listening. We're listening to you.
No, she was muted, but you're muted. Yeah.
I was talking to the baby.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, what happens is, but say you're a realtor, and you have 100 people,
Hmm.
and each one of them have a plan, and half of them are the custom plan, which is
Okay.
paying you $97. So you're making money as a residual income as a realtor. And the way it's designed to do is I might have facilities like I did with your credit, Nate. You know, I got somebody to call and make sure you stay on plan. And when you buy or execute your sale or whatever it turns out, I'm going to give you a year's worth of your money back.
Now
So the
I
plan
missed,
didn't actually
I
cost you
missed that
anything.
one.
No, I
I
just
love
started.
that.
Like I said, we're actually going to do that with our
I love
tenants.
that.
You're gonna sign up for a plan, and we're gonna do a custom plan for you, including stay on you about your credit, stay on you about paying off because there's debt to income ratio and things
Mm-hmm.
like that that you have to
Mm-hmm.
consider. And it takes time. So over the year, you get all that done, and you decide to approve buy a house, you qualify, then we'll give you $1,200 credit toward closing.
I like
And
that.
why is that? Well, we have to find a way to pay for the time and effort it takes to make sure people stay on the plan.
Yes.
Yeah. But and so say it
Yes.
takes you 2 years, we're going to give you at least a year. I don't care if it takes you 2 years or 3 years, we're going to give you at least a year straight back. And we never stop until we get you to a point because the American dream is not over. Okay. If you had good credit, if your debt to income ratio is good, if you qualify for first time buyer programs, if you have a
Mm-hmm.
legitimate business for a year to 2 years where you documented it, so you can show that income in addition to the income you're making otherwise, there's no reason not to buy.
I
Okay,
do
there's no
have one
reason.
question to piggyback off
Mhm.
of what Leah asked. Is the preparation to prepare to be a good tenant renter the same preparation to be a good homeowner? The preparation to purchase, is it the same?
Uh, it's not the same, but if you talk
Okay.
to when you start asking them for 2 months of bank statements and pay stuff, they're like, "Why? If I got to do all of that, I may as well buy a house." And I'll be like, "Yes, you should, if you could." Because the more when you mortgage for
So
mortgage,
when
well, what happens with the mortgages is they have debt to income ratio and percentage of income and things like that that don't go into the factoring for rentals. So rentals is actually easier, even though it has a
okay,
lot of the similar documents. Okay, but you have to drill down and be a little bit
okay,
more deeper. And so because your percentage mortgages are all calculated inside of mortgage machines, and basically they call them underwriters, desktop underwriting, and they'll put in all your information and they'll say either here's your percentage debt to income ratio with the house and debt to income ratio without the house,
mm-hmm.
and both of them have to fall in a certain range. And then
Mm,
also what happens is most people don't know this, but as your credit score goes up, your interest rates go down. In other words, oh, I can get you qualified with 680. Yeah, you can at 7%. But if I was 750 or 760, I would be at least a half a point less, at least half a percentage point.
and that's a big deal.
Oh,
Yeah,
big deal. Huge.
that's
Well,
a
it
huge
affects
deal.
your qualification now.
Yeah.
So that's why you have to get your credits. You have to always be working your goal. I call it the 700 plus club. You know, you always want
Okay.
to be in 700 plus, and you're always pushing to be in the 800 plus club. But it takes only time gets you into the 800s.
So
Okay,
a lot of people, not to cut you off, but you're
go
speaking
ahead.
about credit, and a lot of people don't understand how to read credit reports, and they
Right,
don't understand
right,
when you say debt to income ratio, they don't understand, okay, just because I have $1,000 limit on this credit card don't mean that I should be spending the full $1,000. So what are some of the things, some of the minimal things that even if what I say have these driving for computer dummies, if I'm a credit dummies,
hmm
what are some of the small things for that are increasing their credit score or at least understanding what to look for? So like you said, they're staying ready so they don't get ready.
Or even how to get a credit
Hmm.
score.
Okay.
Increase, right, Mom?
No, just to get here.
Oh, did it? That's
Yeah,
an
credit
excellent point
scores.
too.
Yeah, credit scores cost, and I won't get into it now. But what happens in our case is we actually have a service where you get all three of your scores. It's a 7-day free trial. And the only thing we ask in that 7 days is that you go online and we actually walk you through. You learn about credit using your credit score, your credit reports, literally. Because I always tell people, if I went and looked at an X-ray of a knee, and if you see a credit report as an X-ray, because it's really a 3-level X-ray, because you got 3 agencies. So you got to look at all 3 agencies. But if I took that X-ray, it's going to only be one person's knee. Okay, every credit reports are 100% unique. 100%. Everybody has a different one. And the only way you can understand credit, not the only way, but the best way to understand credit is with your credit where you are right now, no matter what it is, no matter what it is. And that's what we do. We actually sit down and actually help you. Here's what's going on. Here's how this works. This is what you need to do. I'll give you an example. One of the ladies I just told you that met me there at the house early, and she's actually telling me that her fiance, who had a 630 FICO score, we were going to have problems with it. But I pulled her score. I'm thinking she's going to be good. She's got one credit card, has a $300 limit. She's at $295. She's not even over. And her credit score was 565 with one item on her credit report. So how does that happen? So I actually told her, I says, you need to pay that credit card off. Her score will jump up into well over 650 in about 30 days. But that's me telling her exactly what she needed to do with her report. On her fiance, she had worked out a repayment plan on a collection. He only had like one collection, and he's working it out, paying it off, etc. Well, as soon as that's paid off, 2 months later, it's going to go up, blah, blah, blah. But that's with his credit report. So everybody has a different report. Point. Yeah. Everybody's is different. That's a really good point. That's why the credit services actually never really worked. You can't hire somebody in general whose job is to send letters out, because after a while, are credit agencies getting smarter or dumber? That's why it's harder now. When I said earlier, you can't just send in a letter and what they do literally is they ignore you. they will ignore you and say, "Oh no, it's still good." You have to write a second letter. No, it's not good, and you can't just say that. So what they do is their tactic was just to drag it out till people got frustrated and gave up on it. Okay. And so that just writing letter services thing, it just, like I said, and there's no reason for it. Let's look at yours. Let's figure out what you need to do and how you're going to need to do and put together a plan that's within the constraints of your budget right now. And let's go to work on it. There's no reason to wait. Okay. We'll give you 7 days, and then we charge you so much per month for the report, because you just asked the question. You need to have a place you can go check your reports on a regular and consistent basis. And it can't be one of these freecreditreport.com people, because they're in the business of having you get further in debt. Okay? They are not your friends. Wow. Okay? They are not your friends. MyGoodCredit.com is the only friend you're going to have, and because we don't do credit cards. I don't believe in them. We do have them, and their purpose is for you to use them to help improve your credit. But don't use them and pay 18, 19, 20%. I actually I paid off all my credit cards. I'm sitting down. I waited a while, called up my bank, which is a really good bank, USAA. And I'm like, hey, I paid them off, and I noticed my interest is 15, 16%. My credit score is up there. Why would you lower my interest rate? The lady like, oh, I'm sorry. There's nothing we can do. You know why? Because they partnered, USAA, they partnered with the people that have what I call a credit card franchise. That they break things down out there for the powerful people. They have the bank franchise, the mortgage franchise, the credit card franchise, the prison franchise. Okay. Yeah. So they have the franchise out there. So now your interest rate on your credit card is not relative to your credit score. That's ridiculous. Yeah, that doesn't actually make any sense. So, well, I'll just use them. I still got them. Because I get people say, well, I canceled my card. I'm like, no, don't cancel the card. The system is designed to how long have you had the card with a zero balance. I just got a letter the other day because I forgot about it. And they said, oh, we canceled your card because you haven't used it in so much time. I forgot to go and use it once. Because they'll actually cancel you if you don't use it, because they're carrying you on the books.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They, you know, they don't make any money just
Mm-hmm.
carrying you on the books. They're in the rent the money business. Okay. That's what mortgages are. You're in the rent the money business. Instead of you paying rent to a landlord, you're paying rent to a mortgage company, which is okay because you own the appreciation of the house.
That's a good point.
That's the biggest benefit. And you get the tax write-off for the interest that you pay on the house.
So if you use the
Hmm.
credit, if it's down to zero and you use it, it's a good idea to pay it off again,
Yeah. Just pay it off.
charge and pay it
Well, I
off.
get people what they do is they use it for their gas for the month, but they always pay it off at the end of the month.
Mhm.
You know, I used mine once because I had to do something. I used mine, I paid it off before my billing cycle. And I looked at the bill the other day and it actually had zero interest. It didn't cost me anything to use it. It was like $800 or something like that. And so that's what you want to do, but that's what we teach people. So you have to understand how the system works. Okay. And that's where my good credit. Oh, I understand how it works now. I understand I can't have one credit card and charge it up to its limit and not have an effect on my credit. You can't have a credit card and charge it over 30% and then not have an effect on your credit score. You can't because that's the way the system is, but that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's why the thing I tell you, solving the money problem is the biggest thing, you know, because
Yeah.
if you're making more money, yeah. Any amount of money. I made enough. I make enough every month residual income to pay for my cell phone. What if you could say that? You know,
Hmm.
it's something better than nothing. And right now,
Yeah.
most tenants have nothing. They are victims of their jobs, even ones that are self-employed. I mean, it's a challenge to be self-employed only. Okay, and make sure you're profitable. And then when you're self-employed and you're writing off everything, you'll try to buy a house. How do you do that?
Hmm.
So yeah, we talk specifically about how does a self-employed person have a business. You know how I actually did it. Pay myself. I
Oh,
set
that's
up a
excellent.
separate, set up a separate corporation. The corporation pays me a salary, so I'm able to just like everybody else go and show the pay stub,
That's
qualify
excellent.
for a loan, and
The one that owns the corporation, so you just are making a paper trail that you paying yourself.
yeah. But they finally caught up with
Excellent.
that. Actually, buying a house, and I was buying another house, and they came back and said, well, "Wait a minute, you're the owner of Good Tenants LLC."
Excellent
So,
point.
so I'm like, oh, okay. So we're actually incorporating anyway at the end of the year. So the same thing happened, but now it's not like you're an LLC. You file that on your same taxes,
So
and so
can you just go over really quickly how do our viewers, how do they connect with you with good tenants, and how do they connect with you if they want assistance with how to prepare and improve their credit? What are the various links and websites that they all need to know and go to?
well, what you can do is you can go to goodtenants.com
Okay.
by Friday
Okay.
because I'm just switching over my old site. Okay, so you can go to goodtenants.com by Friday and
Goodtenants.com.
be able to, goodtenants.com and just go to the bottom and our phone number will be there. We have an 800 number.
Okay.
And then info@goodtenants.com, which right now I answer. Okay, and then also Jessie@goodtenant.com. That's my personal goodtenants.com email. Jessie, Jessie,
Okay.
at goodtenants.com. Tenants plural, not singular. Goodtenants.com.
Okay.
And then we're launching the contest, and we'll have that link ready on Friday also. It's join.goodtenants.com. It's join.goodtenants.com.
And that's the one to join for free
Yeah, you'll join.
classes and the contest.
Yeah, you'll actually get a link that'll say, here's how to access the membership site and
Okay.
complete your profile.
Okay.
Okay, they'll ask you questions like how many people in the family, things like that, your income, et cetera. And that creates what we call a basic profile. And then you'll get emails later on, starting 2 weeks from now, where, hey, here's what it takes to be a featured tenant. One of the things I'm giving away in October is one-on-one in preparation for the app pack. We'll probably do that for about 20 people. And
Nice.
then we'll actually be giving away in November when we launch the mygoodcredit.com. We'll be giving away a webinar, and then I will be personally walking people through their trials, probably for about the top 50 people in November. Well, I will actually get online, get a meeting, pull up your credit, and actually I'll walk you through the thing, record it, so you'll have that available also.
Fantastic. And let me tell all of our viewers, as well as my sisters and our mom here, how valuable the one-on-one is. First of all, he is offering the opportunity to do it from the comfort of your home or whatever your setting is. I had the one-on-one, and we had to meet several times or over the phone, which resulted in us meeting in person because, he's trying to explain something and I just didn't get it, or I needed more understanding, or I wanted to be there, so I can, because I really was listening. I couldn't understand when I was going through my rental phase of, why do I make this kind of money? But people are saying no. I don't have any collections. I've never had collections. Did not understand that just because I was paying my bills on time, that it was helping me. So it was about when he said debt to income ratio, what are you talking about? Like, my credit cards may be high, but I'm making all of my monthly payments. So there was so much information that went into that. For him to be launching a contest in October, November, where he's going to sit down and do one-on-one with you so you can better understand your personal situation, not credit in general, but your credit. I'm telling you, that is absolutely phenomenal, and something that I would encourage everybody to take advantage of, because with his guidance, I went from being the renter to the homeowner. So I'm telling you, just like that hair club commercial that used to come on back in the day, y'all, I am a client. I was a client. And he knows exactly what he's talking about. This has been really, really good information. I have one quick question, and I don't know if you're going to be able to answer this, but everybody is holding their breath for this election. Everybody is holding their breath because they're predicting, as they keep saying, interest rates are going to change because this election. Is there any type of truth to that? Because it's not just home buyers or future home buyers or people with credit cards or whatever that are hoping that this changes. This is going to affect everybody with these interest rates. Do you predict that there's going to be any truth or value to that?
Well, any election at the presidential level, it affects that, it creates that kind of conversation. But in my opinion, I think the Feds have their agenda is to prevent a recession.
Okay.
So when they just lowered the rates just now, they're going to monitor it. They may lower it again. You're not going to see, say we're right now at 6.5% to 7%, depending on your qualification. You're not going to see a 5%. We're not going to all of a sudden drop down, in the interest rates, no matter what happens with the presidential race. If we get a quarter of a point relief or half a point relief next year, it's going to be because of the state of the economy. Okay. So, and it won't matter who the president is, that type of thing. So I'll always tell people, from a real estate standpoint, buy the best house you can at the time you're able to buy. Don't worry about where the rates are. Buy the most house you can at the time, and then let the cycle take care of itself. All right, the cycle's going to come. Like I said, get ready, stay ready. Because just historically, analytically, I'm actually going to do research from the year 2000. From the year 2000, not 2000, but 1900 to where we are right now, 120 years, and you're going to see 3 or 4 cycles. And it cycles, but it's been continuous, still trending upward. Because I had people that when they were, just real quick, when interest rates were 3 and 4%, and they were like, "Oh, I'm waiting for the price to go down." I'm like, "Oh, dude, what are you talking about? It's all about the interest rate. I mean, it's 25 to 30% more for the same house, and housing prices didn't go down. They solved the housing problem because every mortgage is truly underwritten now. There are no fake mortgages. All right, so you're not, even if housing prices start going down, like in Southern California, we didn't see that as big of a drop. We did in the Inland Empire, but not in the LA Orange County area. It's not like what you're saying. I just don't see something driving that. So again, don't worry about interest rate. People worry about that too much. It's not going to shift that much. It might save you $100 on the mortgage payment. The key is get ready, stay ready to rent or buy, and be always preparing to do that until you have to move, until you're able to buy. That's what you're doing. Okay. Until you can. Okay.
Nice. Lady boss leader.
Well, I want to because it's time for us to wrap up, but I did want to ask, what would you say is the most important aspect of what you offer to people that are looking to rent a home with your program?
Nice question.
Get ready, stay ready.
Get ready, stay ready. Okay.
Get ready,
The preparation.
Don't act like I gotta move tomorrow. Well, act like you gotta move tomorrow, even though you don't. I guess that's a better way of saying it. You know, have a sense of urgency until you're prepared, because you don't want to get caught unprepared. Unpreparedness is the most expensive, most stressful, time-consuming thing that you'll deal with is a lack of preparedness. And I'm an ex-Marine, so we're always prepared. So that's what we're trained to do. You want to get ready and stay ready, and then maintain. And what happens when you get ready, stay ready? Okay, I'm ready. I got all my stuff together, but I'm still, every month my credit score is going up. Every month I'm saving a little bit. Okay, so you want to get ready, stay ready. Don't wait.
Okay.
All right. And if you think about it, that's a no-lose proposition.
Yes, it is.
You can only benefit by getting ready and staying ready. It's only going to get better. Okay.
Great point.
Well, we definitely want to thank you so very much for your time, for your knowledge that you were willing to share. Like I said before, we're definitely always looking to share knowledge, and what you are talking about is super, super important, and especially at a time like this where our economy is changing, and it's changing for the worse and not the better. So I know that your program is very important, and I hope everyone out there that is in the industry of renting a home take advantage of what Mr. Jessie is offering. Once again, Mr. Jessie, would you say your email or wherever they can reach you, and then we're going to give it over to Mom so that she can take us out with a prayer.
Okay, absolutely. It's Jessie, Jessie at goodtenants.com.
Thank you so much. All right, Mom, it's on you. Please take us out with a prayer. Mom?
I think you're on mute, Mom.
Yes.
There you go.
Okay. Psalms 34, 1-3 says, I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth. My soul boast in the Lord. Let the humble hear and be glad. Oh, magnify the Lord with me, and let us exalt his name together. And Lord, we come to you, Father God, bowed heads, humble hearts. We thanking you. We praising you. We thanking you, Lord, for all that you have done and for all you have yet to do us. We thank you, Lord, for waking us up. We thanking you, Lord, for blessing us to get up. We thanking you, Lord, for our going and our coming. We thanking you, Lord, once again for blessing us to lay down. And we're just thanking you. And I just want to say, Lord, hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. We thank you through all things at all times. And let me ask this question. Can you bless the Lord when you have money in your pockets? Can you bless the Lord when you don't have any money in your pockets? Can you bless the Lord when you have food in the kitchen? And can you bless the Lord when you don't know where your next meal is coming from? So bless the Lord at all times. When you're blessing, the blessings go up, the praises go up, the blessings come down. Amen. And before I end this prayer, I just want to say, bless the Lord at all times, whether they're good times or bad times. We are created to be overcomers. So if you bless the Lord, if you follow the Lord, you too can be an overcomer. Yeah. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Amen. Amen. We always.
And real quick, if they want to join, it's join.goodtenants.com. I forgot to mention.
Tenants, plural.
That's plural. Mm-hmm.
Thank
Okay.
you again so much, Mr. Jesse. We really appreciate it. I'm quite sure as this economy continues to change and this housing market continues to develop or undevelop, whatever is going on with us, we are definitely going to appreciate having you back. So we hope that you will consider joining us again because there are going to be questions that our viewers have, and we want to make sure we have your expertise. But for all of us here at Glow, on behalf of my sisters and our mother, Miss Rita Taylor, our prayer warrior, Lady Boss Leader, and Lady Inspiration, myself, Lady Resilience, we would like to go ahead and remind you that you were meant to overcome. Be you, because everybody else is taken. Have a night.
Good night.
Good night.